I got a really good relationship with Top, Kendrick. They're from Interscope Records. I was on Interscope Records my entire career, well, majority of it. Then
Despite receiving a lot of negative feedback from the hip-hop community and losing momentum in his spat with Kendrick Lamar, Drake hasn't completely abandoned him. Although 50 Cent isn't a West Coast native like Dr. Dre, he has strong ties there, which has led to him working with Drake on a secret project, he said on a recent trip to Toronto to spend time with Drake. Eagle-eyed fans noticed that 50 Cent was wearing a LA hat rather than his typical NYC cap during his meeting with Drake, which sparked discussion about the message he was attempting to deliver to the West Coast and led Kendrick to accuse him of mocking and disrespecting the culture. While some think 50 is just his typical petty self, others speculate that Drake is likely making fun of Rick Ross in a separate way that has nothing to do with Kendrick or the West Coast. Fans continue to doubt 50's conduct, especially in light of the continuing issue with Drake's alleged disdain for the West Coast in Tupac on the same day that he met with 50 Cent, which has Kendrick Lamar particularly worried about. The next day, Drake released another image, this time with supporters wearing a Tupac jersey. The picture was of his new automobile, which has a remarkable similarity to the one in which Tupac was brought down. I left wondering about his allegiance to Dr. Dre and feeling uneasy about his partnership with 50, while it's possible that their collaboration is purely business. It's not as if 50 Cent needs Drake to expand his already successful empire, so what is 50 Cent's intention behind teaming up with Drake? Is he supporting Drake's divisive position, while also supporting Drake's calculated maneuvers? Or is he siding with Drake? Let's analyze this scenario with a focus on the West Coast, even if the bulk of the ERAP community seems to be supporting Kendrick Lamar over Drake. Despite their animosity, 50 Cent isn't allowing it to get in the way of their business transactions. On Sunday, July 21, he shared a picture of themselves from a recent hangout on Instagram, sparking a lot of internet rumors and conversation. 50 Cent said in the caption of his picture with Drake, brainstorming last night, Champagne Poppy and I are set to start filming. This will be the most prominent item on your resume. In addition, a video of 50 and Drake laughing over cocktails is making the rounds on the internet. It's obvious that 50 Cent wants to expand his empire, and this project with Drake may entail Drake's experience as an actor and producer, or perhaps a Top Boy crossover. 50 Cent may potentially be involved in the Drake, even though 50 is trolling Rick Ross with Drake. Kendrick feud is more about making fun of his former adversary Rick Ross. Just this month, 50 made fun of Ross when he was assaulted in Vancouver for acting differently than us. Fans of Kendrick Lamar are not thrilled. They claim that 50 has disrespected him over the whole West Coast and that he is deliberately stirring up issues for Drake. Drake has been involved in a feud with Kendrick Lamar for years, but it's more than simply rap competitions. He was accused of being a culture vulture, but he recently fanned the flames of these accusations by openly mocking West Coast icons such as Tupac, with rumors flying about Drake's O.O. crew. Some fans think he might as well join forces with Diddy. Afterward, a lot of fans accuse 50 of being a sellout, arguing that there's a thin line between being a shrewd businessman and having no morals about what you'll do for money. In addition, many fans wonder how Dr. Dre's discovery of 50 Cent allows him to comfortably associate with someone who has often shown scorn for the West Coast. The mainstream culture's dissatisfaction with Drake's perceived cultural vulture behavior is evident in this feud, which extends beyond Drake and Kendrick. As Drake continues to disdain West Coast legends, these feelings have reached a breaking point. When Drake first started doing push-ups, he claimed to be more popular in Los Angeles than Kendrick then, in a specially composed freestyle. He increased the tension by referencing Snoop Dogg and Tupac's artificial intelligence-generated voices. The West Coast was not going to ignore the controversy that Andre Drake had created by purchasing Tupac's famous ring. Tupac's family expressed their displeasure, denouncing Drake for demeaning Tupac's legacy by using an AI voice. As a result, Drake was compelled to take down the custom freestyle from his social media accounts. Howard E. King was a lawyer. Drake's unapproved use of Tupac Shakur's voice, according to the Tupac Shakur estate, was a flagrant infringement on both the estate's legal rights and Tupac's publicity rights. King underlined that this usage would never have been authorized by the estate. The fact that Kendrick Lamar, a close friend of the estate, has continuously expressed reverence for Tupac's legacy in both public and private served to compound the offense. However, Drake seemed unfazed. He continued to provoke the West Coast with his Kendrick diss track Family Matters, where he raps, "You know who really buying asset manager swag." This line infuriated many on the West Coast, particularly since I, who is from Compton and associated with Kendrick's crew, had already warned Drake. YG rapped, "When there's smoke, don't ever reveal my name," in order to protect his reputation in any feuds on his track. He proved his allegiance by, despite the backlash, Drake continued to focus on family matters, accusing Kendrick of not giving back to his community by saying, "Don't even go back to your hood and plant no money trees." However, this accusation is factually incorrect, as Kendrick has frequently given back to Compton. The supporter not only performed during DJ Mustard's set in June, but he was also spotted dancing while Kendrick performed. He demonstrated his commitment to his community by discreetly donating money to his high school alma mater, for example, without drawing attention to himself. Kendrick was surprised that anybody even knew about his unassuming giving until it was brought up in an interview. Kendrick clarified that his efforts extended beyond token gestures and that he sincerely strives to encourage kindness in his neighborhood. This environment forces you to adapt and encourages others to witness something more than simply losing individuals. It's about fostering the notion of positivism in the community. Allow me to share my story with a few others from this location. Here in Compton, in this backyard, a new perspective is introducing a fresh viewpoint, but there's a catch. Drake isn't backing down when spending time in Toronto with 50 Cent. Drake posted a number of images on his Instagram story, one of which was posing in front of a black BMW. People soon realized that the vehicle matched the one that Tupac was tragically killed in back in 1996. To dispel any doubts, Drake hasn't bought the automobile Tupac was really driving. It's now being auctioned off at Celebrity Cars. Vegas fans, however, think Drake's vehicle choice was a subdued statement that he isn't scared of Kendrick's admonitions about disrespecting Tupac and the West Coast. Although it may appear extreme, fans of Drake are aware that this is simply part of his signature style. For example, he often posts cryptic remarks on Instagram the day after hanging out with 50 Cent. In a recent mirror selfie, Drake wore a green airbrushed Tupac shirt, T-shirt, and shimmering emerald-colored Timberland boots. That only you can judge Drake's continued exploitation of Tupac's likeness to make fun of Kendrick and the West Coast in spite of Tupac's family. Even though 50 Cent isn't from the West Coast, Dr. Dre's 50 Cent was therein. Toronto, as Drake stirred the pot once again, mocking the West Coast over Tupac despite the fact that 50 Cent has strong links to the region. Recall that when the whole industry had passed on 50 Cent, it was Eminem and Dr. Dre who gave him his big break. 50 Cent is still unwaveringly dedicated to the people who gave him his start. Dr. Dre, who publicly supported Kendrick during his feud with Drake, even joined him on stage at the Pop-Out show in Inglewood. They performed California Love and introduced Kendrick's first live performance of Not Like Us, with Dre backing Kendrick and 50 Cent aligning with Drake, who is openly shading the West Coast. Everyone. Fans are interested to hear Dre's thoughts on this new partnership and how he thinks about 50 Cent collaborating with someone who has mistreated the West Coast in the past. Views about this partnership are split. Some supporters counter that it's not a big deal, pointing out that 50 Cent has always put his career before personal problems. "I'm so tired of people acting like everyone has to pick sides," a commenter said. "Take that garbage from the streets out of their lives." Drake and 50 are wealthy. They don't give a damn about little quarrels. Many others, other "50 Cent is a snitch and a sellout," a fan said. "He is the same person that cheered when Rick Ross was jumped by Hell's Angels." "Let's make 50 Cent the next example," a fan said in response. "I've had enough of his shows. There is no civilization that is above everyone." The argument rages on, with some supporters lamenting what they see as a breach of allegiance and others arguing that historical disputes shouldn't factor into commercial choices. The nuance in these viewpoints reveals the many ways in which hip-hop fans see loyalty, commerce, and cultural integrity. This dispute touches on more general industry topics in addition to personal sentiments. Hip-hop culture, where prior alliances and rivalries can play a large part in defining public opinion, is strongly ingrained with the notion of loyalty. Some see 50 Cent's activities as a businessman's pragmatism, while others see them as a betrayal of cultural and regional allegiance. The discussion also focuses on how the music business is changing and how partnerships may transcend pre-existing barriers and conventional ideas of loyalty. The right mix of professional possibilities and personal history becomes crucial for artists to make as they go through their careers. What are your thoughts on 50 Cent and Drake working together? Is 50 Cent really selling out, or are fans exaggerating the situation? Comment with your ideas and be sure to see the next video. This continuing conversation is a reflection of the intricacies and dynamics of the music industry, where personal connections, commercial judgments, and public perceptions constantly collide to create a complicated environment that both musicians and fans must traverse.